A Texas man facing the death penalty found an unlikely supporter fighting to save his life, one of the people he wanted killed. Bart Whitaker was convicted of hiring a hitman to target his own family. His mother and brother were murdered, and his father was seriously hurt. A jury found Whitaker guilty in 2007 of arranging the plot, and he was sentenced to death. His father, Kent, forgave his son and fought for years to get Bart off death row. Peter Van Sant gives us an update in this week's 48 Hours.
The Whitaker family just seemed like the model, typical, well-to-do Sugar Land family.
Kent Whitaker, his wife Tricia, and their two grown sons, Bart and Kevin, were returning home after dinner on December 10th, 2003, when that picture-perfect image was shattered.
Kevin opens the door, and there's this huge, loud noise. Bang!
Kevin was shot center mass right in his sternum.
Tricia says, "Oh no," and I hear another noise. Bang!
Tricia had made it into the house behind Kevin and was shot and then fell in the doorway.
I look inside, and there's a figure with a ski mask on.
Bart then chased the guy into the house. As he approached that figure, he was shot.
I think, oh my God, he shot all four of us.
While Bart and his father Kent recovered from their wounds, Tricia and Kevin died.
It became clear that it was a conspiracy. It was not a random act of violence.
Detective Slott soon discovered the man behind the conspiracy was none other than Bart Whitaker, a son who hated his family so much he hired a hitman to kill them all. Bart had the hitman he hired shoot him to cover up his crime. In 2007, Bart was tried, convicted, and given the death penalty.
I believe, as a Christian, that God can and does forgive and change people's hearts.
Over the next 10 years, only one person fought to save his life. The father Bart tried to kill.
Bart was my last surviving member of my natural family, and nobody in my family wants to see him executed.
In February 2018, the execution date is set. Kent, now remarried, made one last desperate plea for mercy to the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles.
We're not asking them to forgive him or to let him go. We just want them to let him live.
Just 2 days before the death sentence was to be carried out, the board made its recommendation.
Recommendation for clemency.
This was the right thing to do.
But the final decision had to come from the governor. And when execution day arrived, there was still no word from him. Bart Whitaker had his last meal. Kent went to see his son for the last time.
Touched hands through the glass, and we said our goodbyes.
The clock was ticking. 1 hour to go. Would it be life or death?
And Peter Van Sant is with us. Peter, how unusual is it to have a death sentence commuted in Texas?
It's very unusual. In fact, Texas executes 5 times as many people as the next closest state. And at the time that this appeal was made, no clemency had been granted for more than a decade.
Did Bart show any remorse for what he had done?
Well, I was in the courtroom during the actual trial, and he took the stand. He said he was sorry for what he did, but as I sat there, I felt as though it was just words. His father said during the course of his time in prison that he did change, and he believes he is remorseful. So we'll see. He's not a very sympathetic fellow. He hired someone to murder his entire family.
To have his father as his #1 advocate is quite stunning.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
No.
Peter, thank you.
Thank you.
And you can watch his full report on 48 Hours tomorrow at 10, 9 Central, right here on CBS.